Hi folks, we're going to talk today about mounting the driven wheel trailer to the G131 Grillo tractor. So the driven wheel trailer is the trailer that actually drives off of a special PTO shaft that's installed in the tractor. This tractor has that synchronized PTO kit mounted on it. That's why there's this second PTO shaft projecting out here in addition to the implement PTO. This is the PTO here that we run the implements, which is covered up with cardboard now. But as of January 2018, when we're shooting this video, the G131 tractor is the only tractor we offer that still has the synchronized PTO option available to run the driven wheel trailer. It used to be available on the G107 model tractor, but not any longer. So what I've got here is the front of the hitch and tongue assembly off of the driven wheel trailer. I don't have the driven wheel trailer sitting here because it's big to lug around. But this is the front of the hitch assembly that would normally be on that trailer. And we're going to simulate mounting the trailer to the tractor by using this. Now the first thing that has to happen is that this tow hitch, the normal tow hitch that would be used to pull just a regular towed trailer that is not a driven trailer, this has to come off because this bracket here on this other thing has to come right up alongside where this is. So I've already had this off before the video, so I didn't tighten this bolt down. So I'm going to start by removing this bolt. Normally this bolt would be very tight, but it's helping holding things together. Let's get a tapping device here. This pin in the back also comes out, got a little cotter pin. Everything is really tight on this tractor because it's all painted and new and tight. Give myself a little bit of a punch here and drive this bolt back out of here. There we go. Alright. Note that this bolt went in from the right side to the left. That's important because when you reinstall this thing, if you put it in this way, the projecting end of the bolt gets in the way of the gear shift lever over here. So it has to go back in the way it came out. Nice and tight. It'll loosen up over a few years, I'm sure. There we go. Lay that aside. Now, of course, if you don't own a towed type utility trailer or any accessory that uses that tow hitch, you wouldn't have to put it back on. But if you have, for example, the disc harrow, the crimper roller, or even the tracks to take the place of the wheels, this bracket would have to go back on there because the track mounting brace mounts to the top of this tow hitch. So anyway, we don't need it for now. They go ahead and send you an additional pin with this thing. You can use either pin you want. I'll take this off. Now, normally for running the driven wheel trailer, you'd of course have the handlebars reversed around so that they were facing over the rear of the tractor, and the handlebars are what you'd steer the trailer with. But I swung them up out of the way just to have more room to work so I didn't bang my head back here. Greasy little cardboard thing. They supply a gasket for the PTO on the G131. No other tractor uses it. I'm not sure why they even supply it on this thing, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it on there. If it goes bad, if it rips up over years of changing implements, it really doesn't have to be replaced. Because like I say, no other tractor uses a gasket there. It's just a grease pack in the back. It's not oil. So this thing will slide up on there like so. And it's going to be tight. But we have our rubber mallet. Oh, I should point out that when this thing is about halfway on, you need to get the nuts started. If you bring it all the way on, there's no room to get the nuts in here. So, glad I remembered that. Otherwise I'd be jerking it back off. Okay. And it's close, but not quite there. Persuasion here and there it is. Note also that the pin has to go through this way. So the bolt went through this way because the projecting end of the bolt has to stick out over here. Well, with the pin, the projecting end has to be on this side, that is away from the gear shift. If you put the pin through from this other side, it interferes with the gear shift with this projecting end. So as long as all the projecting ends are on this side, you're good. So now this front bolt hole doesn't do anything because this bracket doesn't come back all the way. So that's just fine. So now we would just tighten these down. What you want to do is just what I've done here. Before these nuts are tight, go ahead and get this pin through there. Because sometimes if you bring these all the way down first, this may be slightly out of alignment and you'll never get the pin through. So get the pin through and then do your final tightening on the nuts down here. I'm using a wimpy little wrench here. Normally you would want a longer wrench. These are 22 millimeter. Having a full-sized, foot-long combination wrench will help vastly getting the right torque on this. So that's what I grabbed out of the toolbox. So there it is. So like I say, normally your driven wheel trailer would be attached here. There's like a big screw fitting that goes on here. There's a tongue that slides through here with the PTO shaft in it. There's a great big nut that locks onto this side, which that big nut, there's no wrench really big enough to fit it. You can use a channel locks to tighten it down, or you can, I think it's notched on the outside, so you can use a punch down in the notches and kind of drive it with a hammer to slide it around and get it tight. There's a grease fitting on the side of this to grease the oscillation joint, because the trailer, the reason this is a round fitting is so the trailer can swivel inside of it so the whole machine can kind of oscillate a little bit. So you want to keep that greased occasionally. And any other grease fittings you see on the trailer, make sure to keep up with them. And then the PTO shaft itself will slide up in here. It's the fitting on the end of the PTO shaft slides in and out, and you can push, there's a locking button you push and slide it all the way in there to lock into the shaft. So that's it. Have fun with your G131.